we are back, and I've decided I'm going to split this video into just how I remove my eyeshadow to play again and into my multi-chrome duochrome holographic specialty shade series, okay? Because I want to use some of my About Face products, and I think we might even pull up some multi-chromes, duochromes. So while I'm having a good time aiming for very soft, gentle, you know, soft glam, easy makeup, I also love the extra. So today we're going with extra. I'm going to be using the shade Blue Monday from About Face. This was one of the trios. And I'm gonna slap this on the eye. No base, there's just a little bit of that concealer from reapplication. And we're gonna pop that on. And I'm going to use kind of a fluffier brush to, I really love the Ulta Beauty brushes to set this down. And she might go just a little bit green because, like I said, we do have a little bit of concealer on the eye. So I'm gonna keep it quite low. I'm not taking this up too far on the inner portion and just kind of bouncing it down here, leaving right there a little bit empty because that's where our dark shimmer's gonna, or our dark shadow's gonna go. Regular eyeshadow. Okay, I like that. When I use this product, even though the About Face gives you ample time to play, meaning the brush doesn't get like all cementy, I do like to do both eyes at the same time. So like one at a time, but I mean, before I move on to something else, we're gonna finish putting this down. I just like this formula. It's so easy to manipulate. It stays nice and opaque. It doesn't gather and gap. It doesn't feel heavy on the eye. You don't feel the dry down. It doesn't feel crepey. It doesn't look crepey. So of the liquid shadow formulas that I have played with, this is definitely top. This is probably number one. It's my favorite formula. I think I like it in this capacity better than the color cases. And I've just started using the Juvia's Place, but these are very similar formulas. Like, they don't feel like anything on the eye, which is a good time. And I love the way that that blended out. All right, so now I'm gonna take the NYX Vintage Jean Baby palette. I really do like this. I haven't used it much since I've done my Makeup Quickie in, what was that, March? I think I did those. No, November. Right? Yeah, it was last year. Man, time flies when you're playing in the makeups. Okay, so I'm just gonna grab a blending brush. No. Oh. Is that an ambulance? No, it's my son. And I wanna do dark, so we're going in with this deepest shade. I can't help it, guys. Blue, purple, green. That's what I do. I just think this blue and purple is going to look really nice together. So, that brush is a bit too big. So yeah, I'm going to go in with something smaller. And then we can go back in with this bigger brush to buff that out. The About Face liquid paints also sit next to powdered shadow beautifully, and powdered shadow goes on top of it beautifully. Even though this is dry, it will stick, other shadows will stick to it beautifully. So I think we are going to use some, ooh, part of me wants to keep it matte. Doesn't that look so good? I just love how deep and dark it is where these two colors meet. So I'm just trying to get those shapes, or the shape really nice and curved right there. Kind of feathered in. Oh, it's so pretty. All right, I like that. I'm gonna go ahead and do the lower lash line, and while I'm doing that, I'm just gonna repeat the same colors. I would decide if we're gonna add any shim to this because it kind of looks good the way that it is, doesn't it? But you know me, I love the glitz. So back in a jiffy pop. But you probably want to see how I do this, right? I'm gonna pretend you said yes. So we're gonna start with the liquid eye paint. I don't know why I was like, oh, I'll just do it by myself. It's the whole point of why we're here. Okay, don't get it in your eyeball. Go. These stay really well on the lower lash line. Like I said, most of the products, even the Moira Believe the Hype, whatevers, those stayed on my lower lash line really well. I don't know what it is. I think it might just be because there's already concealer and powder down there, something else extra for it to grip to, but I never had any problem with those products staying on the lower lash line, which I guess was a point in the pro column, but you know, they didn't really work for the rest of the eye. But these, they do well wherever I put them. So, oh, I love that. Oh, I'm so happy I decided to keep playing because I was not having a good time. It's really sad. Okay, part of me wants to put like a dark green down there instead, but no, we're gonna stick to the purple. We're not gonna deviate and mess things up. Okay, so dark purple, and we're just gonna bring that in about halfway. I love eyeshadow on the lower lash line. I really like the way that this looks matte. Oh, you know what would have been great? A white inner corner. I think we could still attempt that. I'm gonna use a bullet brush instead. And I'm just gonna use the white that's in this palette. Have I done this before? Why does this look familiar? Because this was essentially what I did with this palette for Quickie Month. I just didn't use the Made or the About Face, right? And it's just a slightly different shape, right? Anyways, who cares? It's still beautiful. We're still having a good time. Okay. So how about for the purpose of this video, we will leave it matte, or we'll just do a matte version. I'll do a matte lip and then we'll put shims on. How about that? Okay. Mascara, should we do liner? No. Because you know what? Yeah, we should do liner. And you know I want to do the green liner, but I think today we're just going to do black liner. Yes, that really brought it together. I can't believe there was a time that I didn't think blue eyeshadow looked good on me. Why would I ever think that? Look at this, it's gorgeous. All right, we need a lip. When I do blue, which, you know, a proper blue on me with my olive undertone will stay blue, thankfully. These are all staying quite blue. The purple is a little bit more blue than it is purple, but that's okay. I like to do a nude lip. So this is the finished look. Does this not look stunning? And it was very simple, very easy. Just placement, and I love it matte. It looks gorgeous matte. And I think these could totally be a full eye. I feel like I could get these to do everything that I just did. It would just take maybe for the outer V, maybe I'd like put some, oh yeah, I should try this next time. Put some eyeshadow tape down, and then I would be able to really carve it, but still get a nice blend without worrying about it, like, you know, moving to the back of my head. But yeah, this is just such a beautiful formula. Like I said, it feels like absolutely nothing is on the eye. It's not gathering, it's not creasing, it's not creping. It looks gorgeous. I love it so much. Vibrant color, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So I'm gonna go ahead, take some pictures of this, and we will come back and we will remix it with a little bit of shimmer shimmer. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and put the Odin's Eye Jewel Shine Bundle away. I feel like I've been using these primarily. Now, that's gonna be the case. You're gonna be seeing this a lot because this is what I have, you know? And even though I could pull out the Metaglow highlighters that I do have a blue and I have a purple, I think it's time to pull out the Dede Signature Chromebook Volume 1. Now, again, there is the Chromebook Volume 2 out. I am not going to be picking that up. I am putting myself back onto my no buy, and I just don't feel like I need it because I do have this and I have not used her to the full ability of this product. So what we're gonna do today for this look, I think I want to play with Dream Daisy. Now she's going to give you a little bit of purple and a little bit of blue, and then on the inner portion of the eye, I really want to stay away from anything that's going to shift gold. Now, what you're seeing in the camera is slightly different to what I see in person. One of my favorite shades is Twinkle Toes, but I do know that depending on what I put it on, it almost gives me green, which I don't want. Or I think it's Starlight that will give me green. I really like Twinkle Toes. So I think what I'm gonna do is, ooh, actually Blueberry is really pretty. I think I'm gonna take a little bit of Blueberry. She also flips kind of purple. I don't know how to get you to see it, I'm sorry. I'm gonna take a little bit of Blueberry, and I think I'm just gonna use my fingers. I took my nails off, so this should be easier. And on the inner portion of the eye, we are gonna go in with Starlight. Before I do that, I do wanna make a slight comparison. Beauty Bay little mini charms palette. Angela is very similar to this middle shade, okay? Very similar, not the same, similar. Now, in the pan, or in the camera, you're seeing lavender, but she looks like that, okay? And that's why I say it's very similar to that middle shade, dead center. And that is very similar to the shade Starlight right here. They all are very similar, but they give you a different thing. This one is gonna give you a little bit more green, okay? This one, she's gonna pull lavender. And this one seems to say quite true blue. I don't, with maybe a little bit of a pink shimmer, it doesn't pull green and it doesn't pull purple, but they're all quite similar. What was I just thinking about? Something else was doing this. Oh crap. Oh, I also have some shades from Juvia's Place that do very similar things to those three shades. So again, like I said, we are going to take Blueberry. I'm going to use my finger. So a little bit of Blueberry. Let me go ahead and swatch her on my dry little hand. Okay, so really pretty. Ooh, holographic gorgeousness. That's going to go on the very edge where that blue meets the purple. And we're going to pop that up into that kind of C shape that I like. beautiful. I can't do this. I don't know how to do this. I don't know if you can see anything. Look, I'm trying, okay. But that is gorgeous. I like to take it up just a touch up here. Kind of tapping when you don't have any product left. Okay. That is so pretty. And then we're gonna go in with Starlight, which again is gonna give you a little bit more seafoamy green in there. And I'm not sure what it's gonna do on the blue, but I hope it's nice. Swatch this for you as well. Right there. So on my skin, see, she's pulling pink. This is the thing about duochromes and multichromes. You just saw I'm swatching this shade here. And that's what she does on my skin. Now let's see what she does on a blue base. Okay, some more. We're getting more of that sea foam green, which is exactly what I want. So what's happening because of that blue base, we're getting her to look on the eye the way she looks in the pan. And I freaking love that for me. It's so pretty. Okay guys, we're done. I changed the lip. I did go ahead and put on Self Love. What can I say? I love her. Look at the eye. And just ignore the snowfall of multichromes on my cheeks. I think you can see the inner portion of the lid. You can see that color, what's it called again? Starlight. How she stayed kind of that sea foamy green. And that is a tricky thing for me to do because again, that's what she does on my skin. But it's one of my favorite colors. It is so pretty. And I harp on this and I'm going to keep saying it because if you only see one of my videos, you know, if this is the first one you've seen, then you wouldn't have heard me say this. But the importance of multichromes and duochromes and holographic shades is understanding and accepting that you may not get the shade you see in the pan. And I only say that this is important because if you are building your collection and you don't have any products like this, it's something you have to keep in mind because if you think you can see a shade and get it and just apply it to your eye like a normal eyeshadow and you're gonna get that look, you might be disappointed. If I didn't have other bases to put this on top of, I would be like, I don't need, this palette doesn't do what I want it to do. Now, that's not to say you couldn't just use an eyeshadow, use a blue eyeshadow and then put this on top, but what if the formulas didn't mesh? What if powdered eyeshadow and a multichrome on top feels too heavy to you? What if you don't want to use a powdered eyeshadow with a multichrome on top? You know what I mean? There's all these different pieces and different avenues and scenarios that you could go through. But being a person who has and likes different mediums, this is a great combo of things for me to have. I love figuring out how to get a shade to do what I needed to do. Now, if you've seen, I think the first talking video I did doing a look, you'll know that from the Odin's Eye, the first shade I attempted to get it to do what I wanted it to do, like looking in the pan and getting that, was Angela. It's my favorite shade in this palette. The next thing I'm going to try to do is use some more unconventional combos of colors, meaning like I might pull out the color case, use an orange and see what a purple shimmer does on top of that or a pink shimmer does on top of that. I do want to work with that red, okay, because the red in here is the whole reason I bought this multichrome palette and I don't ever use her because honestly this one is not a multichrome. I don't care what you say, it's not a multichrome. Sorry, my husband's texting me. It's not a multichrome. This is just a red shimmer. It doesn't shift any one way. There's no shift at all. This is Leon. There's not a shift at all. This is just a very beautiful red shimmer. But she don't shift at all. I don't see nothing, okay? So to have gotten it because of this shade, for it to do nothing but be a shiny eyeshadow, I was like, Odin's Eye. Okay, I see you. But yeah, this look came out gorgeously. I'm so happy I decided to sit here and try to work through the funk. It was getting me, the funk of 40,000 years. Well, now I gotta listen to Thriller, okay? But yeah, this is the look, and it's wonderful, as Dom is saying. And it's colorful, as Dom is saying. And I love it. I love it. I mean, I loved it matte. That we gotta do again, because that was gorgeous. These are just stunning, stunning. So I'm gonna let you go. I'm gonna go out, talk to my family for a little bit, come back here. I'm gonna play again because I'm having a good time, okay? My husband is giving me self-time, all right? And I'm gonna take it. This little loud little thing doing a Yui in front of me. Going somewhere. I hate them little roach cars, little roach. Anyways, I'll see you guys in the next video, which will be very, very soon. Shut up, car. Disrespectful. Take care of yourself, exfoliate your lips, play with your makeup, see what kind of multi-chromes, dual-chromes, holographic shades you have, and bring them back to the next video, which will be very, very soon. But until then, guys, Dom and I are signing off.